Hi there, ladies and gents. Welcome to another episode of Map Breakdowns. I am the Mapped Out Gamer. Let's kind of go a little bit deeper into the map Fringe and see what it has to offer. Let's play some Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Alright, so let's head straight into just lane structure and overall map design of Fringe. As I talk more about, map playability, I'll kind of throw in my 2 cents along the way. You guys have given me some great feedback, and those of you that said you wanted more map knowledge, you got it. So the south side team spawn location is on the bridge area that leads up to the Red Barn. This kind of hangback area is far less traveled than most of the major lanes. These kind of rocky formations and areas here have minimal foot traffic. This is where I like to kind of hide and launch my score streaks, kind of have some basic protection. So during the initial run up, the barn, and the North End White House, which kind of face each other, are really the go-to spots. 95% of the time, you will be staring at the business end of a sniper rifle once you get up to that second story window. So you really want to kind of creep up there slowly and don't screw up your shot. The Red Barn has 4 entry points that can actually be breached, so don't get too cozy if you do plan on posting up in the Red Barn. If you do plan on it though, kind of load up on shock charges and proximity mines. That way you can at least have some protection, and then you can also use the awareness perk to kind of hear those footsteps coming up, just to kind of give you a slight advantage. It doesn't always work, but hey, anything helps at this point. Moving on to the west side lane, this lane is pretty straightforward. I mean, literally straightforward. I'd say this lane is really the only practical wall run route on the map Fringe. On a side note, I really love how the map designers in Black Ops 3 didn't overuse the wall run routes, on all these different maps. It's more like, hey, the routes are there. If you're feeling randy, go ahead and take them. The less is more approach really worked well in this scenario. Back to the route. So if you notice the really high walls, you can get some really big air on them. Use them to your advantage to kind of rain down the pain on your enemy. If you need to kind of dip out early from this lane, you can easily stop at the mid-route entrance and kind of double back south. All right, this brings us to the north side team spawn location, kind of that back north end corner. This back corner is a lot closer to the White House, kind of their sniper nest. This means snipers or anybody going up to the top floor will get there faster than the people on the Red Barn side. So if you do plan on sniping right here, you have no excuse to miss if you're waiting in the window. Don't miss that first shot. The White House is not a really exact replica of the opposite side, the Red Barn. I would venture to say it's actually a little bit stronger tactically. Why would you say that? Well, for starters, outside the front, kind of facing that center map, is a nice little edge for a great place for a turret to be placed. It's just perfect to kind of mow down the center map lawn. As well, the White House only has 3 breach points. That's one less entry point to worry about versus the Red Barn 4 entry points. So, lastly, a little bit of a low foot traffic spot is here behind these big, large vats. There's a little nice nook right here if you need to pop a squad and call in the reinforcements. Moving on to the east side lane. This lane looks larger than it actually is. It starts CQB, then it opens up to a wide area, then it kind of shrinks back down to close quarter combat once again. In between that, there is limited cover in that kind of open area. I really do try to hug the outside wall here, since normally enemies are checking that door entrance or the side alley cover. Head into the south end building and you'll get a clear view of the center map, kind of these 2 angled windows there. Not only do you get a better clear view of the center map, but you actually get a real nice line of sight of the Red Barn and the White House second story sniper windows. It's essentially the counter position that faces the center map. This is really a luxury that the west lane does not have. Let's kind of swing back around and head through the center map. The center map on Fringe is really long and narrow. There's not a lot of room to move kind of laterally here. You got to really use those trucks for cover. It's basically a must. As you approach the center lane from the south side, which is the Red Barn side, it really gives you kind of limited cover. So I like to kind of stick to that east side room with those 2 angled windows for more protection. If approaching from the south side, which is the White House side, use that little elbow, that 90-degree little elbow lane right there. If you do need to get kind of creative, bounce off some grenades off the trucks, that way you can kind of clear out the center OBJ. All right, so lastly, my recommendations on how to play Fringe. Fringe is really a fun map. You can really get away with any type of loadout on this map. If you like to kind of rock the sniper rifle, some long-range weapons, stick to the train side, as well as the Overwatch positions like the White House or the Red Barn. If you kind of like the little bit more more in-your-face action, close-up quarters. You can kind of float around the indoor crossing routes with a shoddy and easily peel back some top hats. There is a lot of wooden textures on Fringe, so FMJ will get you some sweet wall bangs on this map. Love it. Since the east lane, and the center map are really closely linked together, I normally like to flood those sides. That's kind of where I like to hang out, and then I'll use that train track lane as a flanking route. That wraps up the map breakdown of the map Fringe. This video was a little bit longer. I got some feedback from you guys. You wanted me to kind of go a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole during these map breakdown videos, thus the longer video. I do appreciate a thumbs up, or hey, why not subscribe to my channel if you want to stay up to date on my latest videos. Catch me on Twitter as well, @MappedOutGamer. Peace.